We are treated to a very special guest joining us on set right now, trainer Jimmy Toner. Looked it up and didn't realize you took your trainer's license out back when you were just 19 years old, all the way back in 1960. Been doing this for a little while.
A few years ago.
You have a really
Before
nice...
Andy was born.
Barely.
You got a player right now in the 3-year-old turf division. We're going to start off talking about Hawkish, who was brilliant in the Grade 2 Penn Mile last time out. How excited are you about his progression and going forward with him?
Well, he's been an exciting horse to be around. He's trained very well. He's got a lot of natural ability. He's still learning what to do. I mean, he has his habits when he runs, of duck in or duck out, so which is fine because he's running good, so we hope we don't change him too much. But he's an exciting horse to be around.
How concerned are you with the mile and a quarter? Obviously, the Belmont Derby of $1.2 million, and getting the mile and a quarter is a real question for him.
Well, I think the whole thing is if we're ever going to find out, this is the time to find out. You know, for $1.2 million, if he can go mile and a quarter. But I think this will determine what direction this horse goes for the rest of the year. If he can handle a mile and a quarter, he goes to the Secretariat. Right. He follows that program. If he can't, then we just drop back and we come up with another program for him.
Well, it is exciting. It's just rare to see you with a good colt. I mean, it seems like most of the time it's fillies and mares that you're doing so well with. Flying Chevron was
he's not a colt either.
He's a gelding. Oh, well, that's good. He'll be running for a while. That's fine. That's all right.
Yeah, you finally get a couple of nice male horses. They're both gelding. Manitoulin as well.
Yes.
A 5-year-old gelding who ran too good to lose, unfortunately, in the Grade 1 Manhattan. Had some issues at the start of that race as well. And this is a look at Hawkish working with Manitoulin. Talk to us about that Manhattan, that performance of his at 30-1.
I'd rather have Andy.
I'll handle it for Jimmy. Painful? He wasn't thrilled with the ride.
Don't say that. Mike will never talk to me again.
Listen, I'd be happy to talk to Mike about it. I think in retrospect, Mike might agree.
Okay.
He's probably given better rides than that in his life.
I'm sure he has.
In all defense, he had some other things on his mind.
Mike or the horse?
That day. Mike.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That in backside, he was thinking about the, Triple Crown.
He really did run great all day. I mean, in the Manhattan. 4 wide on the pace the whole way and fighting at the finish.
Yeah, no, he hung in there really well. I really thrilled to death with the way he ran. And actually, I think the first turn, he got carried out, floated out wide in the first turn. And after that, he was just wide all the way. Had he been able to tuck in there, save some ground, I think we'd have been in good shape.
No, I agree. And obviously, I assume that you're hoping you can get the mile and a half in the Sword Dancer for $1 million on Travers Day in Saratoga.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go in the Bowling Green one first, give that a try, and then Mike will be back to ride him. And
really?
I was wondering why you would come back to ride him, and I realized the Haskells the next day.
I think he owes you one. Well, you won it last year with Hunter O'Reilly, and you were shocked after the race in the winner's circle.
Cost me a golf cart, actually.
Really? Is there a good story there?
Yes.
Well, obviously, you're so well known for your longtime association with Darby Dan Farm, the Phillips Racing Partnership, and one of the great ones, of course, Soaring Softly won the inaugural, I should say, Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf back in 1999. This horse actually started on the dirt and didn't even get onto the turf until her 4-year-old campaign.
Well, I think the whole thing is we always try to get like our horses. You say, oh well, try to get started with the dirt to see if we can I can develop a dirt horse, which I very rarely can.
Flying Chevron was pretty good.
He was a pretty nice horse. A little bit on the crazy side, but he was a nice horse. Yeah. So, but we decided after I had her down at Payson Park and we worked her down there on the grass down there, and she was an eye opener right away. So then she did win at Gulfstream. We went from Gulfstream to Garden State, to Keeneland to Garden State, and it's one of the few times that you ever at the beginning of the year, John and I sat down and laid out a program for her, and everything went perfect except the race at Saratoga where she got beat. And that was the Diana. And at that time, the Diana was run late in the meet. And that year they had a drought, and we had no. It was just a rough turf course to run over, and she didn't handle it at all. And we brought her back here to run in the Flower Bowl. And of course, that might have been what Mike was thinking about because I took him off of the Soaring Softly after that.
Took a long time to get even.
He did.
19 years, a long time to wait. So we got a lot of time in this game.
Okay, it's okay.
Well, luckily you had some success in the Diana with some other ones. Of course, Memories of Silver. Amira came along at a very important time for the family, and I know Jody Phillips, this horse was very, very important to her.
Yeah, she was an amazing filly. I think one of the most amazing races I've ever seen a horse run was when she ran in the Lake George as a 3-year-old, and she was behind horses, and Jerry put her head right in between, right on the horse's rear end, and he split the horses, and she just went right through. She was an incredible filly, and a lot of heart, a lot of personality about her, and just a really a neat filly to be around. I'm really proud to be associated with her. She was just a great filly.
Grade 1 winner, Grade 1 producer as well, because 14 years later, she would produce a Grade 1 Diana winner as well. And I know Jody Phillips, she always dreamed of having
a gray
who would run in the colors of Phillips Racing Partnership.
Yes.
And the dream came true, but unfortunately, she wasn't around to see it happen. True. But really important for the family.
Yeah, it was. She pulled the whole family together at the time when they were going, some issues with the Jody's health and everything. And but another exciting mare to be around. I guess my 2 favorite horses of all time would be Memories of Silver and Winter Memories. And Winter Memories had such a presence about her that she was just an incredible horse. And I guess I'd always think that she should have been undefeated. I think the time she got beat, I sort of blame myself about that. But she should have been undefeated. But she was a wonderful mare,
She became really a huge fan favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
As well, and just the way that she won her races from coming from so far back.
Right. Yeah. She won the Garden City here, which was an incredible ride by Javier Castellano, and she was stuck between a wall of horses, and he kept like trying to find a seam to go, and he couldn't, and finally he decided, wait a minute, let me just whip her to the outside, and in a blink of an eye, she won, and he eased up. It was an incredible run, It's
incredible the number of these fillies and mares you've had. I mean, Time and Motion, obviously, recently, but so many of them going back. Wonder Again, and remember, she won the Diana.
Right.
And I think that was the first turf race they ran at Saratoga that year because it had rained so much, and she beat Intercontinental, I believe.
Yes, she did, In fact, it rained that day.
Right.
When you couldn't see, they broke from the gate, and you couldn't see the rest of the race until they turned into the stretch. And she loved that ground when it was soft like that and was raining. So, I mean, she was a top flight mare. You say Time in Motion lately, so we've been fortunate to have some really good top mares for the Phillips family.
You've been in this game post so long. We mentioned when you started, and obviously over time, I guess the way horses win, the way they run, change, and where you pick out spots for them and things like that. We just saw a horse who'd never raced as a 2-year-old win the Triple Crown. But have you seen your philosophy continue to evolve over the last few years?
I think so. Yeah, I think. Probably been a little bit easier on them, try to keep them going longer and further. And I've had to change my way of doing things. I think everybody does when you start out, you have an idea what you want to do. And of course, nobody starts out with these kind of horses either.
Right.
The trial and error of going through a lot of claimers or this or that or the other thing, and then you finally develop a style that you're comfortable with. And I think the thing is to make horses comfortable and happy. And that's what I tried to do.
Well, on our show tomorrow, we're going to have another one of your horses in action that we'll get to see, Mamanu.
Yes.
Who has turned into a pretty nice horse for you. How much upside do you think is there with this horse?
Well, I think it remains to be seen yet. We'll find out tomorrow. I'm trying to get her to come along gradually. Initially thought about maybe running her last week in the mile filly race, but I think a mile's a stretch for her. I think 7/8 last time she ran was a good race for her. She showed, how tough she is and courageous by hanging in the way she did, but I think on a mile might be pressing her too much, and I don't want to do that with her. I rather try to keep her short, and I think she can develop into a nice top flight turf sprinter filly.
She's facing some tough older horses in that race.
Yes,
I assume the Coronation Cup at Saratoga for
that's what.
3-year-olds?
Yeah, exactly. It was a question of waiting for that, or just trying to run her like again tomorrow, and then come back in a month's time, and then we'll give her a little break after that.
Being a rematch in that race with Okinawa, who had beat her a couple of starts back, who's a speedster in that, so it's going to be fun to see those two go at each other again.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see who tops who coming out of there and how the race sets up and develops.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. So many great runners that we've had a chance to kind of catch up with, and looking forward to that race tomorrow.
Right.
Future with Hawkish.
Yes.
It sounds like an exciting summer ahead.
Yeah, so far it's been good. Hopefully it just keeps going.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Rooting for Manitoulin to get a good trip.
We won't get 30-1 next time, though.
No, you won't.
Great Jimmy Toner. So many great runners and that long relationship, of course, with Darby Dam Farm. Looking forward to seeing Hawkish. Of course, Mamanu we will see in action, 3-year-old filly in tomorrow's 8th race. That will be part of our broadcast here on Belmont Park Live tomorrow afternoon. Jimmy Toner, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.